going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for part 2 of the wood roof, stripper pole, and center console modifications. So if you watched the last video, you'll know that the center console that we finished, it didn't quite do the job. So, and also the wood roof, we're gonna have to pull that layer down to do it the right way. That way we ain't got to worry about it falling down at some point. So I've been brainstorming, trying to figure out something that would, I think, would be stronger, obviously, but if this don't fix it, I don't know, I just give up at this point. But let me show you what I've come up with. So here was the first rendition of the center console, trying to beef it up. That way we can mount our base of our stripper pole and our future battery reserve right here. But this didn't cut it. But I think this might just do it. Now don't mind the construction adhesive. I just had some left over and I went back just very liberally over all the welds because I just kind of spot welded it and I just caked it on there because I mean it ain't gonna do nothing but help it. So anyways, I have come up, this is gonna be the form, well, permanent form, because we're gonna fill this thing up with concrete. So these are gonna be all bolt hole locations, all right? And over top of this, once the concrete is cured, we're gonna have a piece of wood painted, obviously, and paint this thing as well. But we'll have a layer of wood that will bolt to the top so you don't see the concrete stuff. But I've already weighed this thing whenever I was, basically it was all done, and it was like almost 13 pounds. I think it's like 12.4 before I added these basically forms, if you will, for the bolts. But yeah, I think, like I said, if this don't cut it, I give up. But got it all welded up. So we need to get to pouring some concrete in this bad boy. So hopefully once it's all said and done, I want you to take a second, pause the video, drop down in the comments, and tell me what you think this thing's gonna weigh when it's all said and done. So right now, as it sets, we'll just say it's 13 pounds. So go drop your guesses down below. But without further ado, let's get to mixing some concrete. All right, got the concrete all mixed up. Got a nice consistency going here. I think that'll work. And got the console slash form setting up here. We're just making sure, getting everything pretty much close to level. But that way, and this way as well. That way everything, all the concrete settles nice and even. Used almost a whole 50-pound bag of concrete on this thing. I didn't think it was going to take this much. But yeah, needless to say, this thing's going to be beefy. But got all the concrete poured, nice and level. So now we just got to play the waiting game for about 4 or 5 days. But in the meantime, we still got to work on the wood roof, pull it down, finish it. Got to get a top piece cut out for this. Get our bolt hole locations plotted out, pre-drilled, countersunk. So let's get on that right now. Alright, so now on to the fun part. Now, we got to get that first layer down so we can remove all that butyl deadener, get that surface clean. But I'm going to leave this second layer that's just screwed on to those pieces. I'm going to leave it up there, and that'll help with weight and just kind of controlling it all coming down. So, game plan, we got a heat gun, and I just started testing in a little section right here. Just kind of heating up the roof a little bit. And as you can see, it's already coming loose because that deadener is getting hot. So that just goes to show you right there why they say not to PL over top of deadener. So you get this heat gun heating up and getting this sucker pulled off of here. So like I was saying, I knew I probably wouldn't be able to reuse these pieces, but I can still get them traced out and get some new ones cut out. But as you can see, yeah, it didn't stick to nothing but the deadener. So now we get to remove all that, get it cleaned up. That way we can really secure it this time. So now got all the deadener removed. Got a nice clean surface to mount to now. So I ended up wanted to give it a little try here. So I just used the heat gun and a wood chisel. And I just slowly started getting that PL peeled off of the wood here. So what I'm thinking is I do not want to mount this side to the wood again. So what I'm going to do is say you take this side and then you flip it to that side. Then you would have a good clean surface mount to the metal. See there? So this is the side that would actually mount to the metal. And this is the side that would be visible when you're looking up at, like if you're sitting in the seat and you look up, you would see this. But you actually wouldn't, because there's going to be another layer over top of this covering it. So I think that's the route that I'm going to go. So now just got to get this other mess peeled off here, and then we can get to gluing these babies back up there. Alright, so I think this is about as good as I'm going to get with getting all that PL and stuff off of here. So like I said, this side is the side that's going to be getting glued to the roof. So this side will be what the second layer gets glued and screwed to. And I went back on my grooves and actually cut them about, I don't know, another 1/8 of an inch maybe deeper, just to help whenever I go to push up on them, it kind of forms to the roof curvature slightly, which is pretty much flat anyways, but I want to do it just to be on the safe side. And swung by the old Wally World. And since I'm going to be needing these when I do the van, I went ahead and got me 2 of these cargo bars. So I'm going to be using one on each side, obviously in the center, to jack it up to the roof. And then probably go back on the 4 corners with some 2x4s just to help evenly put pressure on the wood. And while I'm at it, might as well, so we don't have to address this ever again, I'm going to be using the PL Max Premium. So I think this is going to do the trick. But it's already dark outside. I'm going to get a light set up. That way maybe you can see what I'm doing. But without further ado, let's get to throwing these things back in the truck finally. Alright guys, so finally got her all braced up. Got the 2 cargo jacks on each piece, plus 4 2x4s in each corner. Making sure we got good adhesion to that roof. But I'm gonna let this cure for probably about 2 days because I'm not gonna be able to work on it tomorrow. But the last thing I'm gonna do is, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this center roof brace right here, so you see that hole? I'm just gonna take some of this, got some Loctite top foam. Now everybody that I've seen recommends this stuff just because it's really dense, and I'm just gonna go back and fill in that hole, and probably this gap right here because I won't be able to fit a piece right here. But other than that, I'm gonna just get that spray foam sprayed, that way it's curing while the PL's curing. But yeah, I got the trash bag all taped up, that way won't get no mess. But yeah guys, I will see you in 2 days. So now we've given that first layer ample time to cure. I'm gonna go ahead and get these braces taken down. And I may or may not, no I did, I got carried away with the foam right here, and instead of just filling up that hole, I tried to fill in that whole section. So now I'm gonna have to go back, maybe myself put even more work on my plate, but gotta trim this off flush now. That way whenever I put the second layer on, I can spray it on that piece of wood and then attach it. So yeah, note to self, if you're gonna be putting another layer, don't try and fill a gap just yet. But real quick, I want to show you that center console, what she's looking like. So this bad boy has been curing for about 4 days now, so I think it's about time to see what she weighs. First, I want to see, this is the old one, the original console. Let's see what it weighs. 7.8. Alright, now let's see what the big mama weighs. £56, baby. God almighty. How heavy is your console? So while I'm waiting on that paint to dry, went ahead and got me some more cardboard so I could get a template cut out for the second layer here. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and trace that out and just leave a little extra. That way I can go back and trim it if I need to. But yeah, let's get this pulled down, get it cut out, and then get a little test fit. Alright, so after a lot of test fitting and trimming and cutting and more test fitting, I think it's gonna work. I think that's good enough for me. So right now we're just gonna leave it at the 2 layers. I'm not sure if I'll go back to a 3rd one, maybe, I don't know. But I need to get this done, guys. because it's Friday, November 7th, 4:39 in the afternoon, and Ruckus is tomorrow. So yeah, I gotta get this crap done, get it buttoned up. I'm not even gonna film it. It's just putting a bunch of PL on that second piece, screwing it to that first layer. Gotta get the console mounted, get the stripper pole in. I gotta go through this thing, make sure all the fluids is good. Check the tire pressure, all that good stuff. And just pack, I guess, for tomorrow. But I don't want to leave you guys hanging as far as the SPL. Maybe did we gain on the meter? I don't know. So let's jump to Ruckus, where we're going to be doing a little meter testing. So I'll see you there. Well, I got some good news. I got some bad news. So the good news is we got our stripper pole, got it mounted, got the wood roof finished, and we got our concrete / steel center console transmission tunnel / more room for activities for battery reserve mounted. So got everything wrapped up, was able to make it to Ruckus the next day. Man, that was a freaking blast. If you wasn't able to make it to Ruckus, I highly encourage you to try and make it to next year, because man, we had a ball. Unfortunately, was only able to stay for Saturday. Couldn't stay the full 2 days. Man, there was so much there. It was freaking awesome. Like all the big bills you want, man. It was a fun time. But the bad news is, when we finally went to get on the meter to see if we made any improvements or anything like that, I was so focused on kind of operating everything and monitoring everything. I was just basically holding the camera, and I'll try and throw some clips in there so you can see what I'm talking about. But there was a glare on the screen, and I didn't notice that the camera wasn't picking up the screen. So yeah, unfortunately wasn't able to get any clear footage of what we was actually metering. But I'll drop another video here. My buddy was standing outside in a different at a different angle, and he took a small clip, and as you can see, only clamping like 4,600 watts, I think, and that's not even RMS of what these subs will take. So yeah, what's happening is the voltage is dropping, and it's probably going, I'm not fully focused on the voltage, but I know I've seen it drop into the 11s before. And what's happening is the amp is like going into that protect mode where it backs off from putting out the power that it can, just because the voltage is not there. So that's why we open this area up, like I said, so we can have more room storage for future battery reserve to keep our voltage up and keep that amplifier happy. But yeah, guys, I think that's gonna about wrap it up for this one. I really appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, if you learned something. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. But until the next one, this is Derek signing out. I'll see you in the next one.